Hello students. So today we are going to learn a new topic, that is classification of plants. Now we see lot of species of plants in our surrounding. We know some of the names, some we may not know, right? But there are thousands of species present around us which cannot be learned easily, so we classify accordingly. Now in the present animation image you can see flower blooming, which is a land plant. Here second one, which is a water plant. Then you can see fungi species which comes under Thallophyta, and then fourth image you can see the plants glowing. So this is the future where by genetic engineering, biotechnology, molecular biology, all these aspects helps us even to see plants glowing at night. Now we are going to learn the contents from this chapter, that is Kingdom Plantae, that is basis or criteria for classification, cryptogams where division first, that is Thallophyta, in second Bryophyta, third Pteridophyta. Then the second type phanerogams, where again two divisions are there, gymnosperms and angiosperms. And angiosperms further has got two types, dicot and monocot. Okay, so always try to understand the concept with the help of the images and animation, so your learning becomes easier, right? So here I put another image of plant kingdom which is divided into two parts, cryptogams, phanerogams. Cryptogam further into Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, and phanerogams as gymnosperm and angiosperm. Angiosperm further as monocot and dicot, as we saw in the left side. Then again based on the different types like cryptogame, Thallophyta, some of the images you can see here, Bryophyta, some of the species over here, Pteridophyta, then the phanerogams where gymnosperm, angiosperm, and in angiosperm monocot and dicot species. Moving further, now as we know the five kingdom classification which was put by Robert Whittaker, who is an American taxonomist, in 1969 he proposed a five kingdom classification. So the five kingdom classification which includes all the organisms. So organism, in short, you can see the chart over here where prokaryote, eukaryote, the two types. Prokaryote where Monera is present, whereas eukaryote, which is again further divided into unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular, like Monera, even Protista is unicellular, whereas multicellular, all the other species with a cell wall, that is phototrophic, heterotrophic in case of plantae fungi, and without a cell wall in case of Animalia. Here I added one more chart where you can see Monera, the earlier known species, which is prokaryotic, absorb and photosynthesize, which may be motile or non-motile, means it may move or it may be immovable. Asexual means without any fusion or gametes, they reproduce the young ones. Then further the Protista, which is eukaryotic but unicellular, or it can be multicellular as well, absorb or ingest or photosynthesize, that is the way they take in the food. They can reproduce sexually and asexually, that is with the help of gametes or without the gametes, that is fusion. Then further in the tree chart we have plants, animals and fungi. In case of fungi, it is eukaryotic, they are multicellular, absorb, non-motile and sexual, that is they reproduce by gametes. Animals, they are again eukaryotic, multicellular, ingest, that is they engulf the food, they are motile, that is they move from one place to another, sexual, that is presence of male and female gametes. The third, plants, which are again eukaryotic and multicellular like the animals, photosynthesize, that is they have chlorophyll, non-motile, that is they don't move from one place to another, sexual, that is reproduced by gametes. Now we come into the detailed aspect of kingdom Plantae. They are a group of autotrophic living organisms having eukaryotic cells with cell wall. So the term autotrophic means what? They produce their own food. Auto means self. They are eukaryotic cells with cell wall. When you say eukaryotic, the cell organelles are very well developed and they have got cell wall. Plants are autotrophic as they can perform photosynthesis with the help of chlorophyll. Now, as I mentioned, autotrophic, they prepare their own food. How? With the help of chlorophyll by the process of photosynthesis. Now, all of you may be knowing photosynthesis where carbon dioxide is required, water is required, sunlight is required. In chlorophyll, they prepare their food, that is glucose. Living organisms of kingdom Plantae are the main source of food for all the living organisms, and these kingdom Plantae or different species forms the source of food for the other living organism directly or indirectly. Why directly or indirectly? Directly for the smaller organism or the primary organism like rabbit, deer, goat, where they are fed by the secondary and the tertiary level or the carnivores, right? Further, basis or criteria for classification, how they are classified. That is, first point, the presence or absence of organs. So if the organs are present or absent, based on that, the first point of classification. The presence or absence of separate conducting tissue for conduction of food and water. What is this conducting tissue? As you might have heard about xylem and phloem. Xylem which helps in conduction of water, whereas phloem in conduction of food, which carries water from the roots to various parts of the plant, whereas food through phloem from leaf to various parts of the plant. Further, depending upon the absence or presence of flowers, fruit and seeds, plants are classified as cryptogams or phanerogams. So again, the presence of flowers or absence fruits or seeds. Now again, coming to the first point, as I mentioned, presence or absence of organs. So again here, whether it's fruit, flower, seed, so all these are the basis for classification of cryptogam or phanerogam, depending upon whether seeds are enclosed within a fruit or not. That is, a fruit which encloses a seed, or it is only seed without a fruit. Phanerogams are classified as gymnosperm and angiosperm. So further, phanerogams are further classified into two categories, gymnosperm, angiosperm. And angiosperms are also further classified as monocot or dicot based on the cotyledons, upon the number of cotyledons in the seed. Next, we come across another scientist, August Wilhelm Eckler, that is from 1839 to 1887. He is a German botanist. Botanist means one who studies about plants. Divided plants into non-floral and floral parts. The first to use evolutionary relationship in taxonomy. So August Wilhelm Eckler was the one who divided the plant as a floral and non-floral. So based on that, plant kingdom, two sub-kingdoms are there, cryptogamy, phanerogamy. Cryptogam, plants without flower, phanerogams, plants with flower or structure of flower. Those plants in which reproductive organs are visible, that is not arranged in the flower, whereas phanerogams, those plants in which reproductive organs are arranged in a flower or flower-like structure. So cryptogams has got three divisions, Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta, whereas in case of phanerogams, two divisions, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Gymnosperm, flower-like structures are present, whereas in angiosperm, the real flowers are present. Now we come to the each division one by one. So first we come across Thallophyta. So before moving into the points, you can see the images. Now I have added animation images wherever possible, so it makes the content more interesting, right? So in the first animation you can see a long thin spirally coiled structure which is Spirogyra, which comes under Thallophyta, which is an algae. But along with that you can see some other species moving, which is a microorganism, which you can see a slipper shaped structure which is the Paramecium, and the other one which is slightly rounded, which is rotifers. Clear? So here we are come acrossing the uh, green algae, that is Spirogyra. In the second image you can see the mushroom which comes under fungi. So in mushrooms again there are various different type of beautiful mushroom species available. Some are edible which can be consumed, some are non-edible because it can be poisonous as well. Okay, then the point, these plants grow mainly in water, so they are usually present in water. This group of plants which do not have specific parts like roots, stem, leaves, flowers, but are autotrophic due to the presence of chlorophyll, that is comes under algae. So here the species does not have any particular organ. Which organ? The root, stem, leaf and the flowers, but they have got green colored pigment, that is chlorophyll, which all these species comes under algae. Just to add a little bit of more additional information over here. Now as we know the plants around us, we have seen many plants around us, correct? But if there are 1,000 plants around us, there will be 10,000 plant species in the water. So the number of species on the land is less in comparison to the species present in the water. If you've seen the National Geographic channel or Discovery channel, the underwater swimmers who go deep into the ocean, we can see many number of species present underwater, which still many are undiscovered, right? So the species in water bodies are many more which is there on the land. Okay, and in case of algae, again there are many species. Now you can see some of the species, the images I have put in the next slide. So algae show great diversity. They may be unicellular or multicellular and microscopic or large. So there are unicellular species present, there are multicellular species, and some may be very small or very large. For example, if you see here the species of algae are Spirogyra, Ulothrix, Ulva, Sargassum. Now Spirogyra, they are very minute, microscopic, whereas Sargassum, they are as large, it can be almost 60 meters in height in under the water. So they are very huge. Some of these are found in fresh water while some are found in saline water. Means some species are in fresh water, that is lake, rivers, ponds, and some are in salt water, that is oceans or the sea. So these plants usually have a soft and fiber-like body. Various types of fungi like yeast and molds which do not have chlorophyll are also included in this group. So fungi species are also included in Thallophyta. Like yeast, now yeast, it's very common. If I give an example, at home mother use yeast in case of fermenting for making doklas, idlis, dosas. When you keep overnight the batter, you add little bit of yeast to it, so it to make it more softened. Whereas molds, if I give one more example for mold, best example in bread. Now if the bread is moist, or if after the expiry date, if you see the white layer forms in the bread, that white layer is nothing but the mold. Okay, and they do not have chlorophyll. But in under fungi only we can see the mushroom also comes under, which edible and non-edible are present. Now here I put some images of Thallophyta, so you can see many species are there, but you learn 3 or 4 example which is given in the previous slide or from the text. For example, Spirogyra or Chara, Volvox, the sea lettuce, that is Ulva, and edible seaweeds. There's just some of the species of Thallophyta. Now I added one more image where I can see many species of algae, that is chlorophytes. These are again very few in number because there are again hundreds of species more in chlorophyta species of algae. So here if you see the Chlamydomonas, they are very minute or microscopic. Pandorina, Ulva, Enteromorpha, Dictyospira, Gonium, Stigolonium, Eudoneria, Volvox, Rhizoclonium, Caulerpa, Codium, Helmeda, Nitella, Stossorum, Enteromorpha, Euglena, Spirogyra, to name a few. Okay, so you just learn the few examples given from the text. All other examples are for you to know what are the other species present. Now, coming to the second division, that is Bryophyta. Now, this group of plants is called as amphibians. Now, all of you know amphibian, which is specifically used in animal. Which one? Frog, or even toad, or even salamander. All these are amphibians, means animal. But why they are called amphibians? Because they are present in water as well as land, right? Similarly, the Bryophyta species, they are also amphibian. Reason, they require land as well as water because they grow in moist soil but need water for reproduction. So for reproduction they require water. Second point, these plants are thyloid. Now thyloid means what? The body structure. So the body structure of the Bryophyta is called as thyloid. They are multicellular and autotrophic. So since they are green in color, they can carry out their photosynthesis, that is autotrophic. They reproduce by spore formation. Okay, that is the spores are formed with which they reproduce. The structure of the plant body of bryophyte is flat, ribbon-like, long, without true root, stem and leaf. So again, they don't have any true root, stem and leaf, but the body is ribbon-like and they are usually flat, which you might have seen growing on the wall or on the rock, right? Then instead they have stem-like or leaf-like parts which are called as rhizoids. So they don't have actual stem or actual leaf or root. The root-like part is called as the rhizoid. Then they do not have specific tissue for conduction of food and water. That is, they don't have xylem and phloem. Example are moss, that is Funaria, Merchantia, Anthocyrus and Riccia species. So here again I put an animation image where you can see the growth of Bryophyta, how it takes place, slowly forming a layer over the wall or the rock, which is very familiar during the rainy season. Now, again I put the images over here. So first we can say general structure of a Bryophyta, the Funaria, where you can see they got Sporophyta, the capsule, setae and the leaves part over here, the Gametophyta part where main axis and the rhizoid are present. Just to give an idea, what is Gametophyta, Sporophyta? In simple words, Gametophyta, the gametes are formed, Sporophyta, spores are released. So they got both type of life cycle. One is dominant than the other. Then you can see few images, Merchantia species. Again in this you can see the A, male plant and female plant, because both are differing. If you see the labeling part, thallus, the disc, antheridophore, rhizoids, gemma or the cup-like structure. Then in case of the female part, it is archegoniophore. So it is simply antheridia in case of male, archegonia in case of female. Then disc, the rhizoids and the gemma, the cups. And here some examples of Bryophyta and the structures: Anthocyrus, Funaria, the rhizoids, Sphagnum, Anthocyrus, Riccia and Merchantia species. Okay. Coming to the third division, that is Pteridophyta. So again you can see the animation image over here where the young root or the plants of the Pteridophyta as a slowly uncurling and growing, which you can see in the animation. So your first point, plants from this group have well developed roots, stem and leaves and separate tissues for conduction of food and water. So what is the main point? They got roots, stem and leaves. So these are the plants, or Pteridophyta we can say they are the first land plants, because earlier one was Bryophyta, they were in water and land. The previous one Thallophyta, mainly water, right? So here Pteridophyta is said to be the first true land plant with true root, stem and leaf. They got conducting tissues, that is xylem and phloem, to conduct water and food. They do not bear flowers or fruits, but they don't have fruits and flowers. They reproduce with the help of spores, formed along the back or posterior side of the leaf. So if you observe these plants, just at the posterior end they got spore formation, and these spores they are released in the atmosphere, and again the new species are formed or reproduced. The examples of ferns like Nephrolepis. The Nephrolepis is a scientific name, that is common term is fern, which you can see in the animation image, which is of fern. Then Marsilia, Pteris, Edentium, Equistem, Selaginella, Lycopodium. These are the other few examples, and all the images of the example are there in the next page. Now what I have done is, all the example which is mentioned, most of the images I put along with some additional information, and I put all the terms in point wise, so it will be easier for you to learn and understand. Further, these plants reproduce asexually by spore formation and sexually by zygote formation. They have a well-developed conducting system. So in this case, they can produce asexually with the help of spores, whereas even sexually by formation of zygote through the gametes. And conducting system is well developed, as I mentioned, xylem and phloem. Now, all these plants reproduce by spore formation. They are called cryptogams, as they reproduce organs which cannot be seen. The term crypto means hidden, gam or gams means reproductive organs. Clear? Now you can see the images. First come to the pteridophytes. In general, that is fern, root, stem and leaf. They are vascular tissue. You can see the common image of the fern plant, new leaves, which you saw the animation, how it unwinds itself, stem, which is the rhizome. So here is a potted plant of fern, and here below the fern we can see the brown colored dotted structure, which is called as sporangia, which is in the sori. The sori is a brown structure, and in it sporangia is present, and these are released through the wind, where they help in the reproduction of the new species. Here some of the images of the different types of pteridophytes like Selaginella, Pteris, Dryopteris, Equistem, Edentium, Marsilia and Lycopodium, which is otherwise commonly called as club moss. Now coming to the second type, that is phanerogams. Now phanerogams, first point, plants which have special structures for reproduction and produce seeds are called phanerogams. So when you talk about phanerogams, they got reproductive structure, they produce seeds. In these plants, after the process of reproduction, seeds are formed which contain the embryo and stored food. So as we know, the flowers are there. From the flowers, the formation of fruit and seed takes place. So and further, the embryo which is formed through the fusion, the formation of zygote, and then the embryo. During germination of seed, the stored food is used for initial growth of embryo. That is, as we know, the reproduction takes place sexually by the gametes. The male gamete, female gamete fuse to form the zygote. The zygote forms the embryo. Now, embryo, they grow by the presence of the stored food. That's why when you plant a seed, the seed starts to grow slowly and steadily, or when you see the sprouting part, so that growth takes place, the nutrition is provided by the stored food within. Depending upon whether seeds are enclosed in a fruit or not, phanerogams are classified into gymnosperm and angiosperm. So you can see phanerogams bear naked seeds, there is no fruit wall bearing seeds inside the fruit, which is angiosperm. So you can see pine tree, the example for angiosperm, whereas the avocado seed in case of the angiosperm. Gymnosperm, pine, or very simple example, the Christmas tree, right? The angiosperm seeds and fruit. So we can see here fruit, the outer part, thick fleshy region, in the inner seed part, example apple, whereas gymnosperm seeds, which is cone, the cone scale, ripened seed inside, so it opens like a cone. Now we come to the individual division, that is gymnosperm. So first point, gymnosperms are mostly evergreen, perennial and woody, means they are found throughout, grow throughout the year. The plants are thick and woody, and they're evergreen plants. Their stem are without the branches. So if you these plants, if you observe, they don't have the branching part. Okay, unlike the other trees which you see in the surrounding, there are branching or further branches present in it, or divided into branches and the sub branches. The leaves form a crown. So if you see in these images, various different types of cones images I have put up, and all these have got different shapes, spherical, oval, or long. So you can see the various images, and one can see the animation images how these cones opens up. So the leaves form a crown. These plants bear male and female flowers on different sporophylls on the same plant. So the male and female flowers are different. So they are born on the different plant. Again, if I give you the example, when you learn the next part, angiosperm, the flowers has got male and female part in the same flower. Whereas in case of gymnosperm, they are present separate in the same plant. Then seeds of this plant do not have natural covering, that is, they do not form fruits and are therefore called gymnosperm. Gymno, naked, sperm, seeds. So there is no fruit wall present or fleshy fruit, only the seeds are seen. Example, cycas, Picia, that is Christmas tree, Thuja, which is otherwise called as Moorpunky, Pinus or Deodar tree. So you can see some of the example images which I have put over here. Now next, the angiosperms. Now in case of angiosperms, the flower, these plants are reproductive organs. So the flowers of angiosperms are the main reproductive organs in case of the angiospermic species. Flowers develop into fruits and seeds are formed within the fruit. So as we know, the flowers, they from the fruit and the seed. The seeds are covered, hence they are called angiosperms. Angio, cover, sperm, seed. So you can see the fruit and the seed inside the fruit. The plants whose seeds can be divided into two equal halves or cotyledons are called dicot plants, and those whose seeds cannot be divided into equal parts are called as monocotyledonous plants. Again, if I give a small example, dicot, if you see the seeds of bean, rajma, whenever if you go to kitchen, whenever mother puts the seeds in water, you can see it divides into two half. Monocot, I can give best example, the corn, makai, right, where you can see single cotyledon. Okay, now again I put two animation images over here, which is when it keeps on moving, you can see different flowers in it. Okay, and another image, you can see the flower as well as honeybee. Now what it is doing, it is pollinating. Now because of the flowers, the pollination takes place. Because of the pollination, the fertilization takes place, and because of the fertilization, the male gamete, female gamete fuses to form the zygote, and the zygote forms the embryo. From the embryo we get the new species or the formation of fruit and seeds taking place. Okay, now here I put some beautiful images of the dicot and monocot. So you can see examples of dicot: daisies, geranium, snapdragon, poppies, citrus, violets. So you can see the beautiful flowers in dicot, as well as monocot, the orchids, lilies, daffodils, wheat, rice, and irises. So irises, rice, all can see the flowers in both monocot, dicot. In general, angiosperms are beautifully brightly colored species. Then coming to the later part of the chapter, dicot and monocot. Now in dicot, monocot, we can differentiate based on 5 points. That is mainly seed, root, stem, leaf and flower. In case of seed, as we know, two cotyledons are present. In case of monocot, single cotyledon. Root, well developed, primary, taproot, fibrous. Now if you see the image I put below, in case of cotyledon seed, you can see one cotyledon, for example, as I told, maize or corn, and in case of dicot, the bean, for example, two seeds we can see. The root, in case of monocot, it is fibrous, whereas in case of dicot, you can see the primary, the main root, followed by secondary and also tertiary. Okay, that's why it is called as a taproot. Third, stem, strong and hard, that is they are thick, strong and hard. Example, banyan tree. Now banyan tree, if you observe, just to give an additional information over here, there is a banyan tree as old as 2000 years old, and it is there in Kolkata botanical park, the oldest one of the oldest one, where banyan tree as old as 2000 years it is present. So in that case we can see the big bark of the banyan tree. And how we come to know the ages of the plant? By the thickness of the bark or the rings present in the bark of the trees. And in case of monocot, it is hollow like bamboo, false, banana, disc like in case of onion. Leaf, that is reticulate venation. Reticulate venation, there are more vein like part, venation present. Again, if you see a hand, the fingerprints which are there, you may have various fingerprint diverging, right? So that is reticulate. Parallel, it goes in two straight line. Again, if you see here, vascular bundle, that is in the stem part, where monocot and dicot, how it appears. Here it is scattered, here is exactly ring like. And the leaf, it is parallel venation and reticulate venation in case of the dicot. Then flower, with 4 or 5 parts in their multiples, that is they are tetramerous or pentamerous, whereas in case of monocot, the flowers with 3 parts in multiples of 3, trimerous, where you can see the flower trimerous and the pentamerous. If I again give the example as we saw in the previous slide, various images of orchid in case of monocot, or if you take dicot, the best example being the shoe flower, where exactly 5 petals are present. Then lastly, to recap, the plant kingdom divided into 2 parts: Cryptogame, Phanerogames. Cryptogame, that is Thallophyta, Pteridophyta and Bryophyta. 3 parts or 3 division. Thallophyta further divided to algae, fungi and also lichens or lichens. Just to add a point, lichens we are not discussed in the chapter, but they are present on the rocks or various other regions, or we can say it is where the algae, fungi species are present together. Then the Phanerogame, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Angiosperms are further divided into monocot and dicot. So again I put various images of the plants of both dicot, monocot or gymnosperm, angiosperm, all the plant kingdom. Okay. So thank you all of you. Study well, study hard and have focus on the subject. Okay. So once again, thank you everyone.